Africa's path to integration and prosperity is shaped by bold initiatives like the AFCFTA, the African Union Agenda 2063, and the Intra-African Trade Fair now taking place in Algeria. To discuss the opportunities and challenges ahead, I'm joined in the studio by Mrs.Ron Osman Omar, Director for Industry, Minerals, Entrepreneurship and Tourism at the African Union Commission. Great to have you with us, Mrs.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Let us start with the first question and let us focus first on the Intra-African Trade Fair here in Algeria. I mean, the country is hosting the Intra-African Trade Fair. We know that it is a key EU initiative. How crucial is this platform or this event for strengthening African trade and investment partnerships?
Thank you very much. The Intra-Africa Trade Fair was an instruction of the African heads of states. It's part of our agenda, Abuja Treaty, all trades in Africa. So it's something that is very important for the integration and the development of the African economy. It's the place where Africans meet the Africa private sector with the policymakers, the entrepreneurs, the small businesses. It's the place to meet, to interact, to connect, to make deals, and to build Africa.
Agenda 2063 sets Africa's long-term, vision for growth, right? So how does this vision, translate tangible opportunities for industry, for example, and entrepreneurship?
Agenda 2063, as we said, is our vision for a prosperous Africa. And for the department I led, industrialization, economic diversification, manufacturing value addition. This is how we come in the Agenda 2063. With this, we are setting the tone for a prosperous Africa in which we create jobs and wealth for Africa. We have the commodity strategy that is to transform and to manufacture in Africa goods. And those goods is actually what the ACFTA is waiting for the implementation.
You mentioned, the industrialization. Let us add in tourism as well, which are seen as an engines for integration. What role do they play in building Africa's self-reliance under African Union Agenda 2063?
If one thing should be important for Africa, only one, it's industrialization. Industrialization is where you transform your raw materials into finished goods. And in that exercise, you multiply the value of the raw materials by 1,000 or sometimes more. And in that exercise, you create jobs for your population. So this is how it's important for the Agenda 2063, but also for the economic development of the continent.
The African Continental Free Trade Area, the AFCFTA, is at the heart of economic integration, especially this event. How does this, or does it complement the AU's efforts in boosting trade, especially in your sectors?
The ACFTA is the marketplace for the Africans' goods. Industrialization and trade are the two sides of one coin. You need to industrialize to bring goods to the market. ACFTA is working on making the market ready for Africa integration, for Africans to trade among themselves and to integrate themselves. But for that, the most important is to have goods to trade among ourselves. It's when we are advanced in the industrialization that we will also trade among ourselves in raw materials to transform in other African countries. So as I told you, industrialization is the most important for this exercise of integration and boosting the trade in Africa, intra-trade.
Entrepreneurship and SMEs are central to Africa's economic transformation. What concrete opportunities can they seize from the IATF and the AFCFTA frameworks?
SMEs represent 90% of the Africa businesses. They are the backbone of the development of Africa. They are the center of the discussion in the intra-Africa trade fair. It's catered for them, actually. It's not for only the big companies, but it's also for the small businesses, and it's mostly actually for them, for the small businesses of Africa to get opportunities to thrive in what they are doing, producing goods and services.
If we talk about women and youth in this case, I mean, these two categories remain vital drivers of innovation and resilience. How is the AU ensuring they are fully included in industrialization and entrepreneurship?
We have a particular attention for the youth and for the women in the African Union Commission. We have a department that is dedicated to youth and women, but also in the directorate that I am the leader, I'm the director of Industry, Minerals, Entrepreneurship and Tourism. In that department, we have also very specific programs for the women and the youth. In 2022, on the 17th Extraordinary Summit on Industrialization and Economic Diversification, the head of states instruct us to launch what we call African Women in Processing Initiative. This is an initiative in which we make sure that women in processing have a particular attention with capacity building, in quality infrastructure, intellectual property rights, financing, e-commerce, and that they have all the tools to let them thrive. On the youth startup, we also have an initiative for the youth startup with the Startup Act, and we have what we call the African Union Youth Startup Pavilion, which is a vertical in the Intra-Africa Trade Fair. And I'm very happy to tell you that today, one of the youth startup that was brought by the African Union in this pavilion signed a contract with Condor on the instruction of the President of the Republic of Algeria. That innovation is an innovation on baby incubator, and we are very happy to having such great deals happening here in Algeria in the 4th Intra-Africa Trade Fair.
Let's circle back to the AU 2063 agenda, and if we take a look ahead, the journey toward Agenda 2063 is already underway, if you agree with me in this point. What milestones would you like to see Africa achieve by 2030, for example, in trade, industry, and tourism?
If you have asked me the question openly, I would have said that what the milestone that I would like to see is a peaceful Africa, silencing the guns to be a reality, because peace is actually what supports the economic development. So when we have this, and I hope that we will have a prosperous Africa with the industrialization of Africa. That is a reality. African products, high quality, competitive African products.
Thank you so much for sharing your insights with us, and thank you so much for joining us in the studio today.
Thank you very much. I'm very glad to be with you.
You're welcome. And thank you, dear viewers, and see you next time.